Hey folks, Mr. Tolly. Sometimes when I'm transferring patterns they get a little difficult to do. I got this Crenova laminating machine to do a review on, and came from the company, so I got nothing into it. So far I've laminated a few things with it. It's been pretty awesome. So what I'm going to try to do is I get patterns. This was from Guarded Goods. And it says on here, right on the pattern, share this everywhere. So I'm sharing it. I've used this pattern before. It's a pretty simple wallet, bifold wallet, four pockets to put your cards in and stuff. It's the same one that I use. I've had this pattern for quite a while. But I thought, you know, I can maybe trace around these once or twice, and then I need something new. So I did do some on some heavier plastic. But I wanted to try this since I've got the machine here. And I just stick it in there and it's going to feed it through slow. And then I should be able to just cut it out. When I printed it, it lopped off about 1/8 of an inch off the bottom of the pocket. So I just drew the line on. But I laminated up the instructions for the machine so they can, you know, stay with it. If people lose instructions, these can stay with the machine all the time. And then everybody that uses it will know how. It came with a nice little corner cutter. These are the smaller laminator sheets. Came with 5 of them, 5 or 6. Came with a few of them. Came with 20 sheets altogether. Different sizes. This was the smallest. All the way up to A3. Big enough to do legal. And once you're done, it's nicely laminated. I'm going to go ahead and use just my plain old craft knife. I'm going to strap it a little bit here. And that's all I'm going to use to cut through this. I will do this part first that you saw me run through the laminator. And I'll just the one thing that's going to give us the true test is how the edge is. And that edge I just cut is like one piece of plastic. It's not coming apart or anything, and I've seen other laminators do that where they come apart. So, you know what? I'm going to give this a thumbs up. And we'll see how hard they are to trace around. I'm going to be doing a couple of wallets here anyway. Now, if you're wondering what the finished wallet looks like, here it is. It's got room for 4 cards, got room for cash money, and whatever other crap you seem to put in there. My DOT medical card, and my doctor's my doctor's card, fishing and hunting license. That don't belong in there. But it's pretty handy. I've been carrying this wallet for 6 or 7 years now. And it's got a nice crackled look to it. I like the way it looks. So, there you go. So far, so good. They're cutting out pretty easily. I imagine you could use a scissors if you so desired. I like to cut out with my craft knife because it just seems to work better for me. And I think what I'll do is, now that we've gone this far, and I've showed you a little trick for making patterns, these are going to be a lot more durable than just a plain paper pattern. I mean, come on. I'd get to trace around the paper once or twice before it kind of went the heck on me. there's an outer pocket. The biggest trick to making your leather work nice is your cuts and how nice and clean your cuts can be. So that's kind of the key to any project, I guess. And that goes for woodworking or leathercraft or whatever you're doing with it. Looks pretty good to me. Should be just a hair more off over here. So there's my pockets cut out. I'm going to get the rest cut out and get me a piece of leather out here and we'll show you the rest. Alright, I'm back. This is just a piece of 3 to 4 ounce veg tan. I don't know what color I'll dye it or if I'll dye it. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and trace these out. When I'm tracing, I like to put a weight on my pattern just so that it doesn't move. This is just simply a piece of lead that I've put some, I've put a little piece of leather in the bottom of it. Piece of lead came out of a muffin tin and it's a piece that I'm not going to use for casting, so I'm going to go ahead and try to make the best use of my leather that I can. Just like that. And you'll notice this is the exterior piece and it gives you the dimensions on here. I just cut these straight out off the pattern, so we should be all good to go. When I do my own, the one that I have in heavier plastic, I think I made the pockets just a little deeper. But I'm noticing already that with this piece laminated, that it is way easier to trace around. It's almost as easy as tracing around my heavier plastic that I use. So I need to do a couple of these. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a couple of the exteriors, or interiors, excuse me. This is the interior piece. And if you wonder why it matters, the interior is 1/2 inch shorter than the exterior. And the reason for that is because of the folding that a bifold wallet has to do. So I've got, and you'll see that's 8.5. And I'll do 2 of the exteriors as well. But I think you get the idea. I'm just going to go ahead and I'll get these cut out. And I'll get ready to show you how to build the wallet. Since this pattern says that to share it everywhere, I'm going to share it everywhere. And anyone that would like a copy of it, just send an email to my email address, or let me know in the comments that you want a copy and we'll figure out how to get you one. It's just a PDF, and I'm happy to send you a copy. I will say I got this pattern from leatherworker.net quite some time ago, so it might be a little tough to find now. But that being what it is, we'll make it easier for you. These are each 2 inches by 4 inches, and I will need to cut 4 of each of them. And this piece of leather should have more than enough room to do that. So I'll be back once I got all the pieces cut out. A quick pointer, I drew all these pieces out on one piece of leather, and now I've cut them, separated them a bit. This will just make it a lot easier to do the final cutting on it. For that, I will use a ruler. A trusty ruler that I've been using for, I don't even know how long I've had this thing. And I've been using the same X-Acto knife for about as long as this ruler. And then I'll just start cutting them away. When I'm cutting, I try to keep my ruler on the inside of the pattern wherever possible. And then I can, once they're all cut apart, it's a little easier to work with them to cut the rest of it out. Just getting over a little bit of the being sick. Seems like I'll always get sick after a Christmas gathering where we got all kinds of little monsters running around. So it's much easier to go ahead and cut these pieces out. For these smaller pieces like this, just pick your cuts. Now the first one I'm going to do here, that'll cut away this regular pocket. Next one, if I go here, I'll cut another one away. I guess you could call this, I'm kind of in a production mode to say, per se, something like that. And with the most patterns, I've found a little easier tricks and stuff to use when you're assembling a wallet like this. That should make it a little bit easier for anyone to do. There's a couple of things that I found that on this particular wallet pattern that help to reduce some of the bulk, because it is kind of a bulky wallet. One of those things is I cut the bottom into somewhat of a V. To do that, I just, from the edge here, I'll measure over 1/2 inch. Same with the other edge. And then I'll go right to the corner there, into my mark. And I'll just cut that little bit off. And it just makes a nice little angle there. We'll skive that. And it won't compromise the leather at all, but it will make it a little less bulky. What I've usually used is just the safety beveler, and that works too. that just helps reduce some of the bulk where you've got this pocket will sit behind the other pocket. So it helps just cut down some of that bulk around the edges. And it works out pretty well. I've been doing it that way for years, so I still need to get used to using this. I've been using the safety beveler for so long that it's just kind of easy enough for me to just go like that. And I'll knock out the rest of them, but I just wanted to show you that real quick little tip. Just helps reduce some of that extra bulkiness in the middle of the wallet. Makes everything lay a little nicer, and you'll see in the finished product. So, I'll be back.